my fellow comic book collectors. It's Alan, the Comic Collector Geek, and today is the Friday Comic Cover Challenge, where I basically ask you to look through your long boxes and find cool covers based on a theme. This week's theme is going to be guns. I thought it'd be a fun one. We just had Veterans Day, or in Canada it's called Remembrance Day. I thought guns were kind of cool. And last week, actually, I showed a really cool cover that kind of inspired this challenge altogether. Actually, I showed this one for Masked Heroes was last week. And I thought, oh, this is such a great gun cover. It really should be a gun for the gun cover challenge. So this is one that would have been probably top of the list because it's a great cover. But we're going to do some others. I'm not going to show this one. Well, I did show it, but I mean, I'm not going to show it as being part of the list. It would have been probably top of the list. But I got some other great ones. So I'm going to show you, whenever I think of guns, I don't know why, but I always think of the Wild West. And this one is Hopalong Cassidy. And it's just a, typical like gun, the sheriff, the Wild West kind of thing. It's, he's got his gun pulled out. He's got his horse there. And I don't know. I just think this is kind of that Wild West imagery for me. So this is Hopalong Cassidy number 5. And this one actually is kind of a cool book, which is part of the reason why it's on the list, because this one has the Mad Barber story inside it, where it was mentioned in the Seduction of the Innocent. So another cool fact about this book. Okay, next one, and a lot of these are actually from my SOT collection, is Western Adventures. And I just like this one because there's so much going on it. But it's got one of those tropes that you always see where the guy shoots the gun out of the other guy's hand. And that's what's happening here. But this is like point blank range. I think the guy's hand would be gone if you actually did that. So this is Western Adventures number, I don't even think it has a number. Yeah, so just Western Adventures. But it's a very cool book from the Golden Age. And then we got number 8 on the list is The Perfect Crime. This is another, this is a policeman shooting the gun. This is another trope that I like on with gun covers, is where you see the that kind of line where the gun has been fired. And I think that's always kind of cool. And I like the girl in the red dress in Bondage. Another reason that this book made the list. It's a pretty rough condition one, but it is a pretty cool book. This is The Perfect Crime number 11. It's a great cover. Next one on my list is, sometimes guns are not just like typical, a pistol. Sometimes they're more like some kind of sci-fi gun. And I just thought this was a great cover. Where you get this little kid, or little duck, I should say, and he's shooting his little gun at the wall and just obliterating the wall. So you invented an atomic ray. What an imagination that kid has. So this is his ray gun, and he's just blown away half the house. It's just kind of fun. So I thought that was cute. Another one that was mentioned in Seduction of the Innocent, that's from Super Duck number 22. And the reason it was mentioned in Seduction of the Innocent is there's one scene where one animal threatens another animal with a bat. And that's why it's, child violence. And that's why it was mentioned in Seduction of the Innocent. So kind of a weird one. Next one on my list is Kid Colt Outlaw number 3. And this is just a really great one. I actually just think this has that classic Wild West look to it. The gun's still smoking. Another thing with any gun covers, you always have to have that smoking gun. And I think it's just a really classic cover. I like when they put these circles and then have the character standing in front of them. It just really looks cool. So this is Kid Colt Outlaw number 3. Colt Quick Killers for Hire. So very cool. And the Colt is like a typical famous gun for the Wild West. Okay, next one is Gangbusters, number 3. And this one's an interesting one because another kind of interesting kind of gun is the Tommy gun, or you can see it there. And yeah, I just think this, I just like the perspective, like where the guys, like the law is really big and they get these huge like handcuffs, but the perspective of the criminal is also, he's big too, because he's like on this little island and yet he's like a giant on it. He's like standing above the trees, but yet he's small compared to the power of the law. So I just like the perspective of this cover. I think it's really interesting. So yeah, so based on the smash radio hit Gangbusters, number 3. Another one that was mentioned in Destruction of the Innocent. I forgot reason why, but it's another one. Destruction of the Innocent. And then another better Tommy gun, like this is more close on the Tommy gun, is Hunted. And you get to see the police officer with the Tommy gun. And I think these are cool because they'd have like this barrel on them, and you know, you could shoot like a whole bunch of bullets. So yeah. So Hunted, famous crime cases. So it's Crime Never Pays. So yeah, another cool one. And this one is on the list because it's, this next one is because it's a really it is a gun cover. It's guns, and this is A1 number 13, I believe. And it's like guns, fact and fiction. The West thunders with the roar of guns. It's just a cool one. You get to see the really close up on the gun itself. You see this guy getting shot off his horse and his rifles flying up in the air. I just think that's cool. Like a little bit of a desert scene there going on. Just a fun cover. And yeah. And the fact that the gun, the smoking gun in this case, shoots out the actual title, which is pretty cool. So I just thought this was a cool cover. Great gun cover. So that's why it's on the list. That was number 3. Number 2 on my list is one that I really like. This is Women Outlaws, number 3, or number 1, sorry, number 1. And it's just a classic cover. You got the you know, these 2 girls, you know, the saloon girls, and then you got this guy. They're both, like, this girl just shot the guy, and you can see that he's been hit. You know, it's just a great, I don't know, classic Wild West kind of cover. And the reason, actually, this was also mentioned in Seduction of the Innocent, and the reason this one was in Seduction of the Innocent was because of the cover and just the way it portrayed women. That it portrayed women as being less than pure. So yeah, it's just a classic cover. Really great one. So much going on. I like this whole saloon situation. It even has the spittoon down here, which is interesting. Lots of little details like that. And I like the fact that they both have like these like fishnet stockings and then the little roses at the top, or flowers at the top. I think that's so cool. So yeah, so this is Women Outlaws number 1 from 1948. And last, number 1 on my list, my favorite gun cover of all the ones, is Walt Disney Comics and Stories, Volume 6, number 9. And this is actually issue 69 from the run. I just think it's a great one. I always like when Disney of all has guns in their things, because you know, you think of, you know, the target audience as being kids. So to see them use a gun on a cover, and really very like up close gun, is interesting. I just think it's cool. You know, they do try to tone it down by having it as being like one of those cap guns, or not cap guns, but where it shoots out the little bottle, or not the little stopper. And the fact that he's going to shoot the bee that's right on his beak is kind of funny. So I just think this is such a cute cover. And I believe this is actually one of the first appearance or first story with Chip and Dale as well. So those are some of the cool features about this book. This is why it's number 1 on my list. I hope you enjoyed my list of gun covers. And if you want to participate, all you have to do is use the hashtag gun covers, hashtag Friday Comic Challenge, and then make a little video showing your favorite gun covers from your collections. And tag me as well, and maybe I'll check it out, and we can all share in cool gun covers that maybe you never know, because you never know what you might find, and find cool things that people might like. So again, thanks for watching. Bye for now.